Hey everybody, Dylan Distraction here, coming to you live from Batlantic Studios. Thought I'd do a quick back drawing board, talk about comic books, let you know that the Kickstarter campaign for my new series, Cyst the Skin Grafter, running out of time. So if you haven't yet backed, go to cystcomic.com right now. I'll post the link down below. Cruising along, crushing stretch goals. Thank you so much to 62 backers who have currently helped to bring this comic book to life. The comic book is done. I just need I need to get it printed and shipped out to you. So go to cystcomic.com right now. And happy San Diego Comic-Con from home week. It's a little odd, people posting all their memories. San Diego Comic-Con last year and the year before. It was great to be there before, and it's kind of sad to see all the photos and images from last year, because I was like, oh man, that was a lot of fun. I love being there. It's so great to kind of get to go to that big event and see all the great artists and all the great comic books and just be a part of it. So kind of sad that it's not happening this year. Obviously we know why, but hopefully everything kind of gets back next year and I'm able to be there and able to have awesome stuff to share with everyone. And I'm looking forward to it, but definitely this summer is a little different being remote. So I hope you're all having fun and trying to find fun things to do remotely and get to kind of see some of the cool posts and a bunch of new announcements. I saw the McFarlane Toys announcement. That looks great. Bunch of cool stuff coming out from publishers. The new Darkness, the Top Cow Kickstarter's on. So if you're going to Kickstarter to back mine, might as well get both. I mean, their book's pretty good too. Yeah, so pretty awesome. Excited to see that. And what else? Oh, I'm doing draw along lessons on I've posted the videos. I've got 3 of them right now, cartoony versions of my characters at cystcomic.com. I want to do like a cartoony animation version of my characters and have them be for younger cartoonists, aspiring comic book artists. So kind of a follow along tutorial sort of. Those are really great, so I'm glad to do those, and I want to do more of those. Those are fun, and I'm hoping to maybe collect them in something after. I'll have all the artwork, so we'll see how that goes. But go to cystcomic.com if you want to see that. Questions, comments, concerns, please post them below. And if you have anything you want to know about, let me know. I'm going to flip the camera and do a little live drawing. I'm sleepy, and I just had a cup of coffee, so we'll see how this goes. I don't know how long I'll draw for, and there's a lot of fan noise in the background because it's hot in here. Okay, flipping the camera. There we go. So here's what's on my drawing table. I accidentally enabled Siri. That's not what I wanted to do. So hopefully this audio is working and everybody can hear me. And if you can, say hi. Let's chatterino. And help me stay awake because I'm so sleepy and tired. I've been staying up late drawing, which is awesome. Getting a lot of work done that way. Doing a lot of drawings. But man, it really makes me sleepy during the day. So as we can see here underneath, I've been looking at studying the Wally Woods 22 panels always work. And this is a great shot right here from How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way. It's a really cool instructional page about how you can take a boring scene and make it less boring. And that's always a real challenge as a professional cartoonist illustrators. How do you take people talking, or how do you take an interior scene where it's a guy and another guy and they're talking or setting up, establishing something, and there's just nothing going on. And in the script, it's like guy A goes to guy B and says yada yada yada, and it's like, how do you make that something people want to look at? It's really, really challenging. And you see why so many indie creators and independent creators are like, I'm gonna write my own stuff, because a lot of writers don't understand, or maybe they do but they just don't care, that it's hard to make things like boring, mundane, day-to-day things interesting. The dialogue better be really important if you're going to spend an entire page on people just talking about what they had for breakfast. It's like, is that furthering the story at all? So interesting challenge to kind of try to take those mundane setup transitional pages and make them visually interesting. So that's what I've been working on for sure. But with my stuff, it's always about trying to make comics really fun and exciting, and I think that there's that important balance between art and story and characters and dialogue. And I think with this newest comic book, Cyst, the Skin Grafter, on Kickstarter right now, I've really found a nice balance between creating a compelling character that people, I hope, connect with, and setting it in an interesting world and connecting it to a larger story. Because if you think of comic books, it's always the middle scene, right? It's never, you're never gonna kill the character forever. In current big two comic book, Batman's never gonna die forever. Superman's never gonna die forever. That just doesn't make any sense to destroy those characters. They're too valuable. And we already know their origin. I've seen Batman's parents' death scene more times than I've seen anyone else's. I know that scene quite well. I know his origin. So you have the origin, which is already established, and the death, which is never going to happen, and then all of their trials and tribulations are that middle scene, And so you try to think like, well, how can you make that middle scene interesting? And the way that modern comic books do it is connecting it. So there's always the cliffhanger that moves to the next thing. Cliffhanger moves to the next thing. And so with my work, what I'm trying to do is figure out how to make that larger world that I can connect all the characters to be able to keep telling stories. And so I think with Cyst and Ledge, War Hood versus, I'm just so excited about where I can take it, and I'm really, really grateful to all the people that have gone to systcomic.com and helped this book come to life, because I just want to make comics. That's all. Every day, drawing, creating, and that's all I want to do. And so with your support, I can continue to do that. But I can't do it on my own. I need everybody that likes my work and wants to support my work to jump in and go to systcomic.com, grab a commission, grab an original art level. I got a bunch of great stuff planned. I got a bunch of great stuff currently available. And I want to be able to offer up a bunch of things to everyone. And in order to be able to do that, I have to be able to hit those goals. I always break the lead when I do this. I don't know why. These things, I never do it well. Hey, I did it. I'm not great at it. And then I take a kneaded eraser and I stab it in there to get all the particulates off. So if you're watching me on YouTube, it's still on distraction.com. And if you're watching me on Twitch, what's up? I'm on twitch.tv/Batlantic Studios. And if you're watching me on Facebook, yo, what's going on? And I'm going to share this to my story. Sure. Share to a page. More options. Share to a page. That one. Share it. Oh, that's cool. The thumbnail's like me attacking the camera. So what I've been doing lately is offering these pencil drawings to Kickstarter backers. So go to systcomic.com, choose any physical reward level, add 50 to your pledge reward, and I will gladly send you a pencil drawing of a character. And so that's kind of the way I'm getting current backers to get some added value. And I thought it was kind of a nice San Diego Comic-Con 2020 thing to be able to offer to people, because we're all kind of bummed we're not at San Diego Comic-Con, but what can I offer to them? I could make pencil drawings available to backers. So we'll go to systcomic.com. Let me put that in the comments. Dot. No, not comma. Dot. And I've been watching videos. Richard Friend, who's an incredible inker, super talented artist. He was posting videos of San Diego Comic-Con last year. And I'm in the video. I was like, oh, hey, because I saw him there and I was being obnoxious. Shocker, I know. And having a good time with him. And he's like, hey, there's Dylan. And he's like, I've muted the audio, so And I'm thinking that's probably for the best. I don't know what I was saying, but I'm sure I was rambling. I could just tell by the look on my face. I'm like, oh yeah, no, please mute the audio. I look like a rambling crazy person. It's kind of my go-to. And the other awesome thing, Tyler James, buddy of mine, comic book publisher for Comics Tribe, he sends out a lot of blast emails, a lot of great stuff in his email list. If you haven't, you should definitely subscribe to mine and his. But he was instrumental in me wanting to do crowdfunding and independent publishing. I remember first hearing his podcast. What I would do is I'd was at a corporate job, and I'd go on my coffee break and I'd just walk. And there were comic book stores that I could walk to, walking distance from my office I had to work in. And I'd walk to these comic book stores, and there were Comics Tribe books. It was Oxymoron was the book. I don't think it was Red 10. I think it was Oxymoron. And I remember flipping through it and being like, what is this? Like, this doesn't look like a Marvel or a DC book. This is crazy. And kind of violent and kind of creepy and kind of adult, but really professionally done and looked really, really cool. And I'm like, indie comics, like that's a thing people still do? They still make independent comic books? Like, huh. So went back to my office and looked up Comics Tribe, and I saw it's like, oh, he does a podcast called the Comics Launch Podcast. And I was like, well, that's cool. And I got plenty of time here at this office. I can sit and listen to podcasts all day. So I was just I started with the first episode, and that was about the time he was launching this Comics Launch podcast show. And I just started listening to the first one, and I'm like, and he made it seem plausible, right? So he made it seem achievable. He's like, oh yeah, no, you can create content and start a email list. And he was doing coaching, and people were taking his courses, his online courses, and there's this whole community of creators. And I remember just every day being like, oh, what's he going to talk about now? And just going through every single podcast, reaching out to him and being like, man, this is so cool that you're able to do this. What a cool way to live, making stuff and finding people that like it. And then he was talking about conventions and talking about, and that was part of and I definitely credit him with fueling and making me realize that it was achievable and attainable to be an entrepreneur and be an independent publisher, and really inspiring stuff. And I've thanked him many times, and I continue to. Anytime I see him or talk to him, it's like, man, if I hadn't just, I was already working in publishing at that corporate job. I was an art director, and just I knew kind of the ins and outs of production and pre-press and design. And I saw how if I could combine my knowledge of print production and some website design stuff that I was capable of doing, and I went all in on this crazy thing called social media, and it was all part of being able to be a creator, right? With all those things, if you combined all those things together, you could get good at making stuff. Other people were making stuff, and you could just make stuff. And so it was such a thrill to see someone who was doing it. And hopefully, I'm hopeful and that there are people out there right now that are looking at what I'm doing and going, hey, if he can do it, I could do it. And guess what? Yes. If I can do it, you can do it. If your hands work and you like drawing all day and you got stories to tell, yeah, start making stuff for sure. Don't let me stop you. Don't let anybody stop you. If anybody tries to stop you, tell them to get out of the way. Because, again, I think everyone should be able to make whatever they're inspired and passionate and excited about. Whatever that is. Even if I don't like it. Even if other people don't like it. Nobody should tell you not to make it. As long as you're not hurting anybody. You know? I think it's as simple as that. As long as you're not hurting anybody. Make whatever your little heart desires. And do the best you can. Make it as good as you can. So yeah, Comic-Con from home. 2020. I wonder what 2021 is going to look like. If anybody knows, if anybody's traveled to the future, give me a heads up. I'm curious. I'm hoping it's good. Hoping, but we'll see. I didn't plan for 2020 to look like this, so I don't know what 2021 is going to look like. I told the story a few times. I bought a calendar beginning of this year, and I wrote in my calendar all the things I had planned, all the conventions and the travel and where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do. And I've had to pivot and to reevaluate. I think a lot of people have. And I get it. It's definitely different. But trying to see glass half full. What can I do during this time? What am I capable of working on? And I'm able to draw a lot, right? I'm not traveling anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. So that means I can draw. I can work on creating characters. I can do videos. I can do Kickstarter campaigns. And I can take classes and read and learn, which I love. So that's what I'm doing. And hopefully you're able to find something that brings you joy. Hopefully. I hope you're all able to find some joy and some peace and some happiness. Yeah, and if you're out there and you're missing Comic-Con, share your Comic-Con stories with me. I'd love to hear them. If you're like, oh man, there's this one time I met so-and-so, Steranko, or Stan Lee. I never met Stan Lee. Saw Steranko a few times. Got to meet Rob Liefeld and Todd McFarlane, Eric Larson. Those are kind of those Image guys. I missed the chance to meet Jim Lee just at C2E2. I left a DC party and showed up right after I left. I saw people posting photos. I'm like, oh, could have met Jim Lee. That would have been cool. I want to try to cross every Image founder off the list. It's kind of my goal in life, to meet every Image Comics founder. Not in life, but that is a goal. You gotta have those little things. So far, I'm doing pretty good. Rob Liefeld, Todd McFarlane. I'm sure I'll meet Jim Lee at some point. I've seen him at panels, obviously, yeah. But I've seen Frank Miller. He's not an Image founder, obviously, but he's a huge influence of mine. I've seen Frank Miller at panels. I'd love to meet him and just say hi. Haven't had the chance yet. He's a little less accessible during conventions, obviously. But maybe someday. Kind of cool. We'll see. So yeah, this is my character Cyst, the Skin Grafter, from my new series, Cyst, the Skin Grafter, available on Kickstarter right now. Book is done. Just need your help to get it printed and shipped. And we've hit goal. Book is happening. I just got to gotta finish the campaign strong. And if you want this pencil drawing, add $50 to any physical reward pledge. And I'm sending pencil drawings 62 backers. So that's a good deal, right? I think so. It's a good deal for me, and it's a good deal for you. Because you get a cool pencil drawing like this of my character, Syst. And yeah, I'm just going to keep drawing this. Thanks so much to everybody for watching. I hope you all have a peaceful, relaxing rest of your day. Hope you're all able to get a lot of cool stuff done and get to have some fun. And go to systcomic.com. And if you're watching this on a replay, share with me your best convention story. I'd love to hear it. If it was meeting me, you get brownie points. You get bonus points. If you're like, oh man, there's this one time I met Dylan, and he was so nice and so charming, and he's just the sweetest guy. And I'll be like, oh, stop it. I know. It's true. Or you'll be like, I met this Dylan distraction jerk. He was a jerk. And I'll be like, no, I like that guy. That's me. I try to be nice. Sometimes I'm just really tired. I don't mean to be mean. I don't think I'm mean. No, I'm sure I hope everybody has an awesome time when they go to conventions. And if you have chatted with me and hung out with me at a convention, thank you. I appreciate it. I always like hanging out with people that like what I'm doing. It's a real thrill. Because you get kind of caught up in this sort of drawn at home thing. And you're like, is anybody enjoying this? And then when you meet people at conventions, they're like, oh, I saw that thing and I love it. I'm like, oh, sweet. Somebody saw it and they loved it. That motivates me to keep making stuff. Awesome. All right, so I'm going to keep drawing this. Go to systcomic.com. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful evening. And yeah, stay home con 2020. Bye. Systcomic.com.